Alright, the epic load screen, there we go. Welcome back to the Acer Team Story Cup, guys. It's a best of 9 once again between these two players. The score is currently 2-2 for Axiom versus Acer. First to 5 wins, and spawning here in the top right corner of the map, it's going to be the blue newcomer, Axiom's Alicia.
The bottom left, as the red Zerg, it is Acer's Scarlett.
Now granted, guys, she is playing on Stella's account because they're on the Korean server, and she doesn't have her own Scarlett ID, her own Scarlett account over here outside of a barcode, and a barcode was not allowed, so that's why you see Stella's name, but it is, in fact, Scarlett. Now, it's a best of 1 between each of these players today, which is, I think some people love this format and some people hate this format, because in one time, like in some instances, you get to see players really shine. In other instances, you get these really back and forth series like we have going on right now. And I gotta be honest, I really like the way the Acer Team Story Cup works.
Wasn't there... Oh, that's right, there was a mercenary rule before, right?
Yeah, you used to be able to have one player not from your team represent your team, but oh, what did they call it? It wasn't mercenaries, like wild card or something. I can't. The Joker is what it was.
Yeah.
The Joker rule doesn't exist for season 3 of the Acer Team Story Cup, guys. However, the resurrect a player once does, and that's only at the end of the series. You can't resurrect them early on. You have to wait until you're in your last life.
That's pretty cool. I'm glad they kept that. And yeah, I heard, that's what I was wondering about, like, there was a bunch of complaints. I knew there was a bunch of complaints, and I wasn't just trying to remember what it was about. It's about the mercenaries.
Yeah, it was a rather, from what I understand too, because I'm not part of the inner workings of these things, guys. I don't know what the decisions were, but from what I understand, talking about Penguin, the whole revoking Jokers was a very last minute change. Like, no one really knew about it. Everyone had all these Jokers planned out ahead of time.
I remember the drama. There's always drama somewhere. Usually
drama,
live,
quote unquote.
Yeah, right. Anyways, so
well, we close the bets up here real quick, and we take a look at the actual placements again. So Scarlett's on the current 1-game win streak, and you guys are betting to see how long she'll go before being knocked out. Currently, there's 1,535 Partoufs on 1 game, so people thinking Alicia's going to take her down right now. There's 1,000 on 2 games. And 335 on 3, and for some reason someone bet on 4 games, but you can't possibly win 4 times at this point.
Haha.
So, way to waste 7 Partoufs, whoever you are, or maybe 7 people wasting 1 Partouf. Gosh.
So, Partoufs are funny.
I love the betting system. Woo!
I believe we saw a, what was that, a Nexus first or Gateway Nexus? I forget which one.
What? Sorry? What are you talking about?
There was a Nexus first, right?
Yeah, because otherwise the Cybercore would already be done.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was Nexus first or Gateway Nexus, but right.
This
Anyways, that means
you know, hang on, I forgot Alicia does this. He always puts all of his buildings in the back of the base, rather than say like up at the front, rather than walling at the top of the ramp. And this isn't necessarily a bad thing by any means, but it does really take away from that SimCity that you want to get up as soon as possible.
Well, it is a type of SimCity. It just looks like Reaper Defense SimCity.
Right? That's exactly what I was thinking. Like, what do you... The Lings, they can't jump up cliffs. This isn't the campaign.
Yeah, I don't know. Like they can still get into the mineral line. So anyways, he has, you know, habits, and you're used to it, I suppose. Well, I mean, I guess, like, you only have to defend so much with cannons when mutas come out.
Well, I mean, one of the things... We had a show match series last night with Jim Rising and Puck. And one of the things that was really cool was Puck had his first wall, whatever you want to call it, the SimCity outside the natural, compromised several times. But because he had one pylon and the Cybercore at the top of this ramp, he'd be able to warp in and make sure nothing got to the main. So like Jim Rising constantly dived past like 4 or 5 different times, but Puck was always able to just completely wall him out of the main. So even when he messed up, he could still recover. And I thought that was a cool move, actually. It's such a subtle thing, but it made the world of difference.
That's cool.
But, alright, so Scarlett's on 3 bases. Looking pretty comfortable for the time being. As far as what Alicia does, you know what? I actually haven't seen a lot of Alicia in a long time. Even through the Acer Team Story Cup, they haven't really fielded him to date. At least not that I'm aware of. Because it's always been Crank and Hart and Ryung and never really needing more than that. Impact as well, let's not forget. Sorry to give him a mention as well.
Probably wants to go to sleep.
Maybe. I don't know. I know that they have to organize times to accommodate players, but yeah, I think right now is late in Korea, isn't it?
It's midnight in Korea, or 1, so And they're kind of used, like, that's kind of like the schedule from what I've seen of most Korean teams, is that they get up late, stay up late, you know? So it's not that big of a deal for them most of the time until it gets to, like, you know, 3 a.m. Then it's gonna start wearing down on them.
Well, I think as well, there's kind of that pro gamer sleep schedule, right? Like, midnight's technically late, but maybe,
like,
maybe not if you go to bed at 5 a.m. every day.
TLO is like, you know, there's a bunch of people that are like the health benefits of being just generally healthy, you know? So, or the sports benefits, whatever. You know, you get up at 8, do the swimming. Anyways. We have this push out again. This seems to be just really common, especially on this map. I mean, like, who were we casting yesterday?
As they go for StarCraft on Sake.
Right, yeah.
But,
yeah,
you know, the +1 weapon timings for this is nice. But again, like, I don't like the sentry-heavy composition, to be honest. It's going to be great versus the roaches, but there needs to be more zealots involved with this. I mean, there's really just not a lot of DPS here.
Well, the thing is that if they catch them without roaches already, then they can get very good force field positions on this third, like what is happening right now. Scarlett hadn't made roaches until she saw this coming, and now she's using the hatchery against her.
1+1's finishing up here in a second. There we go. Bam. Going to look a little bit better for Alicia than it already was. Force fields are being used quite effectively here, as well as this time warp, but as the Spine Core starts to fall, so do a lot of Scarlett's defensive. The roaches are going down. The queens have fallen, and I can't believe this is working to the extent that it is. Normally this is an attack that definitely does damage, but this is looking quite devastating.
It's the back of 5 gateways, so it's definitely something that Alicia could have, you know, you could have possibly recalled out and tried to continue the game on, probably with Blink Stalkers. We see him finally throw down his tech choices. He should probably crawl out, though.
I don't know. I mean, the forces aren't looking that good. The sentries have fallen, so granted the forces are pretty much gone at this point, but the damage he's dealt to Scarlett has been pretty heavy, and the hatchery might be his goal. I'm not sure if he'll go so far as to dedicate, but he is waiting to recall. Militia, of course, has been kept in the back to make sure it doesn't die to the queens, and I don't think we're going to see another time warp.
Yeah, I think it would be devastating if he time warps. Scarlett's finally starting to regroup and get a lot of units.
Actually, hang on, he did just warp in some new sentries, so maybe he might actually look for the fight. It's a hard decision to make, but I think he just realized there's too many roaches, too many queens, wouldn't be worth it.
Yeah, not even wasting it on a recall either. Like, you can just run back and save the potential photon overcharge.
I think he's going to recall now, though.
Yeah, recall.
If he waits much longer, it's going to be too late. Queens will focus the mothership. Okay, there we go. Does get out alive.
Yeah, he lost 2 sentries for waiting so long. I don't know what he was. I guess he was back home macroing, hoping that the Scarlett wouldn't chase.
Yeah, so I really thought with, you know, if you continue warping in Stalkers, I thought the recall was going to come sooner than later. But when he warped in those additional 5 sentries, I really thought he was going to look for a fight. But you know what? He did a lot of damage, killed about 8 drones. Okay, economically, not the biggest deal, but he forced out so many roaches out of Scarlett. So many like units that should have just been like happy drones.
Yeah, and you know, instead of 60 drones, which is usually where Zergs want to be when they start, you know, building their units, she's only at 50. So we can feel a little more comfortable. He has a little more time to go up and try and get a third potentially, but it actually looks like with 3 more gateways going down, he's just going to do a Blinkstalker +2 attack all in, which might really work. I'm not sure if well, no, actually, I take that back. Scarlett does have that overload over the third, so she's well aware that's not even been tried to be taken. Like, a probe's not even over there.
It's just funny how often the tag all in seems to be associated with most Protoss strategies.
I'm just saying, no, right?
Right,
well,
right. Like, I'm just saying.
If you got rid of the Overlord, I think it would be like even, you know, somewhat of a mind game, because Blinkstalker, like, third bases are actually very popular on this map, as we saw. But you know, she knows there's no third.
That she just saw the War Prism with that Zergling too, so
you don't, like, 100% confirmed.
Yeah, you don't typically just send a War Prism out in the middle of the map. Like, if that flies to your main, that's different. But if it's just here at the goal, warping units in, you know this is a pylon in the air, so to speak.
Yeah. Even has an observer to go ahead and clear up that creep. That could actually mean life or death sometimes if it gets really, really, you know, down and dirty, like last few roaches with the last few stalkers or whatnot. But she's gonna have Burrow, which is also very keen that he has that observer. Oh, and Tunneling Claws. And a lot of Spine Crawlers. Wow.
Tunneling Claws aren't going to get a lot done. There's an observer here, so he just starts backing away from it. This will allow him to get through the force fields, or sorry, her to get through the force fields, though. On top of Alicia's army, she does unburrow, and we do see a Guardian Shield go down. Is this going to be enough, though? Blinkstalkers need to start blinking, because a lot of them are being picked off.
She needs to back up, yeah. That was just way too many Stalkers. I think she should have backed up just a few minutes earlier. She has those Spine Crawlers, so she should use them.
Looking pretty darn good here. Looking pretty darn good for Alicia. Continue to push forward. The Blinkstalker's now getting into the range of the Spine Crawlers, but as we see, the damage might just be a little too much. Those level 2 weapon upgrades are looking really strong, and Scarlett, I don't know if she can hold this. 19 more roaches are coming up behind it, but the spine crawlers, well, actually, Transfuse goes down. Still standing as long as possible. But the force fields have pretty much been exhausted. No guardian shields left if she can somehow tear through this army, but not going to be the case. GG is called, and Alicia will end Scarlett's win streak already and begin his own. You know, I'm pretty proud of myself there.
Are you?
I think I messed up with the he/she's once that whole game. Because, of course, you've got the whole, like, Scarlett, whatever. Scarlett is a girl in my eyes, but, like, the whole fact that Alicia has, like, the girl name, but he's the guy, like, that threw me for the loop. I thought I was going to mess up on that a lot more. But, anyways, game going to go in favor of Axiom, now 3-2.